The desert stretched endlessly, scorched by the burning sun. Rango trudged forward, his head tilted low, dust clinging to his scaly skin. But something was wrong. The silence was heavier than usual, pressing down on him like a warning. Not a single lizard, not a single bird dared to move. The heat shimmered like a veil, yet beneath that veil, the desert seemed alive, breathing, waiting. Rango felt a chill crawl up his spine. He was not alone out here. Something ancient and hungry stirred beneath the sand, watching him with unseen eyes. Without warning, the sky darkened. Black clouds rolled across the desert, blotting out the sun. A sudden roar of thunder cracked the silence, and then came the rain. Sheets of water slammed into the earth, flooding the sand in seconds. Rango's boots splashed in the rising tide as he staggered back in disbelief. The desert was transforming into a black ocean, waves swelling higher and higher. Lightning split the sky, illuminating his terrified face. This was no natural storm. Something was forcing the desert to drown, and it was coming for him. The waters began to swirl, spiraling into a massive whirlpool. From its depths, a figure rose. Pale lavender skin shimmered under the storm's lightning. White hair curled like smoke in the wind. And then came the tentacles, black and endless. Breaking the surface with a sickening splash, Ursula, the sea witch, had clawed her way into the desert. Her wicked grin stretched wide as her laugh echoed across the drowning wasteland. The desert had become her ocean, and Rango was her next victim. The water rippled with movement. One by one, pale figures broke through the surface, their hollow eyes glowing like lanterns. Drowned spirits dragged themselves upward, water streaming from their rotting mouths. Their hands clawed toward Rango, reaching for his flesh. Behind them, Ursula raised her tentacles, her voice booming like thunder. She was summoning the souls of the forgotten, binding them to her will. The spirits circled Rango, their shrieks echoing in the storm. He was surrounded, trapped in a nightmare where the dead obeyed the sea witch's command. With shaking hands, Rango drew his revolver. He fired into the shadows, each shot echoing across the flooded desert. But the bullets did nothing. They passed straight through the spirits as if they were smoke. The drowned souls howled, lunging forward, their hands like icy chains dragging him closer to the water. Rango fought desperately, kicking and struggling, but more spirits rose from the depths. In the distance, Ursula laughed, her voice thick with satisfaction. Rango's fight meant nothing to her. The desert sheriff was about to drown. The water exploded as a massive tentacle lashed out, wrapping around Rango's body like a serpent. He gasped for air as he was yanked beneath the surface. The world went dark, bubbles rising from his mouth as he thrashed against Ursula's grip. Her whisper crawled into his ears like poison. "You'll drown in your own desert." Her tentacles squeezed tighter, pulling him deeper and deeper. Round him, the drowned spirits floated like lifeless puppets, their empty eyes fixed on him. Rango's lungs burned. Time was running out. Through the crushing water and Ursula's coils, Rango's hand found his last bullet. With trembling aim, he pointed his revolver at the glowing seashell around Ursula's neck. That cursed necklace pulsed with power, feeding her control over the drowned. He pulled the trigger. A deafening crack shattered the silence as the seashell exploded into fragments of light. Ursula's scream tore through the water, her tentacles thrashing wildly. The drowned spirits dissolved into mist, their souls finally free. Rango floated upward, his body trembling, as Ursula's form melted into the storm. And then, just as suddenly as it began, it was over. The floodwaters receded, draining into the cracked earth until the desert was dry once more. Rango collapsed onto the sand, soaked and gasping, his revolver slipping from his hand. Above him, the clouds broke apart, revealing a blood-red sunset. The desert lay silent again, but it was not the same. Rango stared at the sky, his chest rising and falling. He had survived Ursula's ocean, but he knew deep down the desert would never forget the witch that drowned it.